We're talking to the newest member of Sri Lanka's prison monitoring board, Stephanie.
Hi, Kumar. How are you? I've gotten both. I've gotten flack and I've gotten a lot of love as in support as well. My heart was always in the prisons. And so when I won Miss Sri Lanka, it was amazing because it trampolined me to do what I was always doing. Because the thing is, I've been working in the prisons for over 12 years now. For 12 years.
And rather unpublicized.
It was my passion.
Yes.
I never spoke about it. Those who know. Something's right in front of you. And I can remember asking God, like, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? And then one day it was like, Eureka.
Oh, it's just here.
Oh, it's what I've been doing. Yeah. That's my... Finally, after years, and I have the best therapist ever, who is the head therapist for the ICU campaign, I fell in love with myself, Kumar. And so that's why the prisons, I resonate very much with them. Because first I had to see me. I had to love myself. I struggled a lot with self-worth. And finally I can say I believe I'm worthy and I'm enough. And I want everybody to know how amazing they are, how wonderful they are, how powerful they are. And whatever darkness you're going through, you can get over it. You will get over it. Just hold on. There are amazing organizations there to help you.
So here we are with Fame Game on a device in your hand, and we are, as we always are, on season 3
at ITC Ratnadeepa.
Today we are talking to a beauty queen, a model, an actress, an
Miss Sri
MC, a
Lanka.
singer, a dancer, all that. But we're not focusing on that. We're talking to the newest member of Sri Lanka's prison monitoring board, Stephanie.
Hi, Kumar. How are you?
You've got a lot of flack on this appointment. What the hell for? Or why the hell for?
Well, I've gotten both. I've gotten flack and I've gotten a lot of love as in support as well. Actually, from around the world. And so I think it was maybe some things. I understand where it was coming from, Kumar, because the thing is, I've been working in the prisons for over 12 years now. For 12 years.
And rather unpublicized.
It was my passion.
Yes.
I never spoke about it. Those who know. Those who I have.
But now we all know because
asked
now
for
it
money.
is.
Please support us. They know. But it was never something I publicly spoke about because it was my passion. It was my heart, and the only reason now that it's coming out is because I'm following it more actively and I'm scaling up because the foundation has been around for 13 years. We've been working, supporting organizations with sexually abused young girls, the prisons for 12 years. We now work with line workers in the T estates. And so I'm scaling. We also have a mental health campaign called ICU, which is island-wide. And so I decided, because I understood it was my purpose. Like it took me, sometimes something's right in front of you. And I can remember asking God, like, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? And then one day it was like, Eureka.
Oh, it's just here.
Oh, it's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
That's my purpose. So now I'm starting to speak about it.
So what's your specific role in this committee or board?
So basically we're 6 people and all 6 have been working in the prisons for, I think the one who's worked the least amount of time has been 8. So 8 years and upwards.
That's a long time.
Upwards, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And all voluntary.
So you all know what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's people who are very passionate about the prisons, who knows what it's like, who genuinely care about making a difference to the prisons. And so what we get to do is we obviously monitor and oversee all the prisons in Sri Lanka, make sure that, the conditions are humane, the conditions are good, that the prisoners are looked after, that the guards are looked after, their mental health, to see how we can create better structures, how we can prevent or help there are multiple issues in prison actually.
I can imagine.
And so for that, now we can officially suggest legislative reform, which is huge because this is something you see, you can put a plaster to something, or you can try to fix it so that it doesn't happen again. So you don't need
Or you
a
can
plaster.
prevent.
Exactly. Prevention is better than cure. So I'm really excited and grateful and honored, and it's not something I take lightly.
So it was not something that was just thrown at you just because you're Stephanie Siriwardhana, the popular character, but you worked for it.
Yes. I mean, yeah, not at all. Yes, it wasn't thrown at me. I've been working. I mean, my heart is in the prisons,
What made you to start initially? I mean, 12 years ago, is it because you were Miss Sri Lanka and you had the need to do something to society, or was it like a passion since you were a kid to do something?
And why prisons of all places,
exactly.
if I may ask you?
Oof, that's a very deep question. And it's a question I've been answering a lot these days. So when I was a kid, my dream was to own an orphanage. And
I think you spoke about it several times.
Yes, and I just wanted to spread love. And even when I was in uni in Montreal, especially during my cégep, which is the equivalent of A-levels, I remember telling my dad, I want to be a criminal lawyer. I want to help prisoners. And so then dad was like, no, you're going to get killed. You cannot go into something else. And I ended up doing journalism, communications, and political science. But my heart was always in the prisons. And so when I won Miss Sri Lanka, it was amazing because it trampolined me to do what I was always doing, because I was a huge activist in Montreal as well. I've worked with Martin Luther King Jr., I've worked with Dr. Shirin Ebadi, I've worked with Craig Kilberger from Free the Children, Algo, Dr. David Suzuki, huge amount of Nobel laureates. I had that opportunity. So I was, me and 6 friends, we started up an organization called Youth Action Montreal, where we organized conferences with even the Secretary General of Canada, with amazing speakers to inspire people to be socially responsible, whatever your passion is. And so when I won Miss Sri Lanka, it kind of suddenly people wanted to hear what I had to say. I'm so grateful for that. To answer your question of why prisons, so this is what gave birth to also my mental health campaign called ICU. Yes, it was my own journey of healing. So actually,
your journey of healing what in yourself?
Exactly, which is what I'm coming to. So when I was a kid, I was sexually abused.
Oh, shit.
And I was 5, and I was also tied up and locked in a cupboard by a distant family member. And so I had to revisit this. I had to heal. I had to process and heal, because I was reaching a point in my life where I was stuck. I was frozen. My career was going great. Everything was good, but I was frozen. And that's because you have to let go and heal from things. And so finally, after years, and I have the best therapist ever, who is the head therapist for the ICU campaign, I fell in love with myself, Kumar. And that's why the prisons, I resonate very much with the prisoners, because I know what it's like to be locked up. I know what it's like to feel invisible or to be forgotten. So for me, that was, it just was so natural. Like, I just want people to know that you're not alone. No, even if you're behind a wall, it's so easy. They say out of sight, out of mind. And people behind walls, people in sexually abused young girls in probationary shelters, the ladies who are trafficked and who are kept in safe houses, prisoners, people in the National Institute of Mental Health, people who are locked up and closed off, they're so easily forgotten. And many times I'm sure they might feel invisible. I know I did. So for me, my heart is there, and I really want people to know, I see you. You're not alone. I have faith that you can be better, that you can transform, because that's what I had to do with myself. And God has been so kind. I fell in love with myself. I've had these, I'm invited to shows like this, the one I'm at here. God has given me some great experiences in my life, and I want to make sure that I use that, because I know it's my purpose to make sure that nobody else feels that. And so I See You, the campaign, actually also kind of stemmed from after my healing, when I fell in love with myself, which was the best day of my life. September 11th, coincidentally. Yes, it was, But
With the Twin Peak attack.
So
not the best day. But then after that happened, I had just written a song about my journey of mental health. And then that's what I was just going to launch it as an artist. But then the suicides of Altair and Nelum Kulana happened, and it broke my heart, because no child of so young, nobody should be in such darkness. I've been there. I was suicidal at one point, and my brother saved me, my family, Dushyant, they were around me, and I know what it's like. And so I thought, I'm a corporate trainer. I have seen people in the corporate, and I'm talking about
Struggle,
30 and above, struggle. But I've also seen through the trainings that I do, I've seen transformations. I've had them send me messages, letters, handwritten letters. And for me, I thought, if I can get that when they're younger, to children, they're the ones to, there's so much pressure, especially in this digital age now. And then so I started off writing a journal, and then kind of things started popping up, and kind of all came together. It fell in place. That's the best way to say it. It fell in place, and now we're doing a national mental health campaign in all 3 languages called I See You, because first I had to see me. I had to love myself. I struggled a lot with self-worth, and finally I can say I believe I'm worthy and I'm enough, and I want everybody to know how amazing they are, how wonderful they are, how powerful they are, and whatever darkness you're going through, you can get over it. You will get over it. Just hold on. There are amazing organizations there to help you when you're struggling, and there's no shame to say I need help, or no shame in saying, yes, this happened to me. Your past doesn't define you. So I See You is about that. We're going into 30 schools, 20 fun panel discussions. I really want mental health to be fun.
Yeah, I guess you have to make it fun, because otherwise they get more depressed in, talking about it or thinking about it.
Rozanne, let's be honest, everyone has a little crazy.
So
Life would be so boring without it.
Definitely.
Despite all this positivity that you're talking about, the negative backlash was
back then.
Huge.
It was huge.
How did you handle all that?
Stephanie, how did you handle that?
As Stephanie, not as the mentor.
I was a bit sad. I remember once I went to Dushyant.
Did you expect it, or was it like, did you think that
it was snowballing?
I actually never even expected the news to come out.
Oh,
because I've been working in the prisons for years, and nothing ever came. Like, no one. I never spoke about it. It was just another day. When we had our first meeting. I mean, I was just doing what I normally do. I never expected the picture to go out. And actually, Dushyant's in the picture too. I went and he's so funny. He knows how to crack jokes that just make me laugh and feel better about things. So I remember going sad. I was like, because it was starting to get to me. But I think God is good. I still can't read Sinhala, so a lot of comments I couldn't understand.
That's a good thing.
And every time I sent the messages to Dushyant being like, what does this say? He'd be like, oh, it's a good thing.
Oh, really?
So he was your therapist.
Kind of.
A good buffer.
He was shielding me. And then and he was so funny. So I was like, darling, you were also in this picture. Like, you were there too.
Why are they trolling me?
Yeah. And then he goes, but clearly everyone thinks you're the incompetent one. And, he said it in such a matter-of-fact way. And he looked at me, and we just both started laughing. And then he was like, nobody knows. And I was like, you're right. Like, I mean, I get it. Nobody knew. And so I completely understand. And it's actually good when you have these kind of appointments. We need to know that people are appointed.
But do you think it's a good thing that people know now that you can work more and you get more support?
I'm so grateful. Yeah. I'm so grateful because now I actually never expected it to be like that, but I got so much support. So many people reached out to me, said be strong. So many people took the time off their busy schedules to give me a call. The mayor herself, Rai, called me. I was so grateful. Like, so many women reached out to me.
So you are loved. Your work is appreciated.
Yeah, I felt seen. And I felt so grateful because people didn't have to go out of their way to take a minute to say, hey, are you okay? And people didn't have to, like the media stations, they reached out, they wanted to hear from me. Because I only said one thing. I said, like I told you earlier before, I only said, it's okay, I don't need to say anything. My work will speak for itself. But I always thought it would be my future work.
Yes.
But actually,
it was your 12 years of work that spoke, actually.
Yes, actually, I never expected that.
Yeah.
But so I'm very grateful. And like, actually, thank you and grateful doesn't even cover or scratch the surface of what I feel and what I want to tell people who, you know, messaged on Facebook, YouTube, all those things, who stood up for me. I wish I had the ability to personally say thank you to every single person. So I'm going to take this moment to whoever's watching.
Please do.
Just thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. And I promise you, I'm going to do the best I can. That's for sure.
So the 12 years.
So on that note, we move into our mid-break. Thank you very much, Salon Ramzi Rahman, for making Rozanne look gorgeous, as she always does.
Always gorgeous.
On the show,
our queen.
Even 21 years later.
21? Not yet. Yeah, 21. And
I'm reminding you.
How long ago? Was
15.
15, 21,
Oh
man.
my goodness.
And that one's 40 years
Almost
ago.
twinsies.
Yeah. So, same Miss Universe titles and...
Yeah.
Thank you also, Ramani Fernando.
Oh, I forgot.
You got to say that, not me.
I know.
Okay, for my hair and beard and Ugo Bespoke. So, mid-break, here we go. Yes, so back to the show, Rozanne.
12 years you worked in prison. What is the most touching and the moment that broke you? Is there a moment like that? Because I know I shot in the prison for a film for 4 days, and there was an incident that really broke me, and I thought, my heavens, I'm never going to end up there. It was the remand, actually.
One thing that broke me actually happened outside prison, because I tend to be quite strong. I mean, when I go to places, like even when I work with sexually abused young girls, or when I go to the shelters or whatever, you can't show that sadness or that, because they're so strong.
They are strong.
So what gives you the right to cry?
Oh,
so
Stephanie,
that's
what do you
how
mean?
I see it.
Stephanie,
so I don't.
They are strong.
Huh?
What do you mean they are strong?
No, I mean, oh my goodness. You know, Kumar, the people in prison, many of them are extremely wise. I was just speaking about starting up a small show where we talk about lessons learned from prison.
Okay.
Or like, you know, because they've had so much time to reflect. You know, some people are there who are just victims of circumstance, victims of poverty, victims of their trauma. You know, you can't say, oh, you're a criminal, you're a bad person. Not at all. There are so many good people who did bad things. Or there are some people who got caught to different XYZ and, you know, became pawns in the middle.
That's true. There are a lot of people who got caught in between.
There are women. There's one story, this lady, her husband is an alcoholic. She has a kid. And
self-defense.
Yeah. I mean, there are some really sweet old aunties who have killed their husbands.
Really?
Yeah. I remember there was this sweet lady, and she was hugging me, and she's because we were giving them care packs and all of that stuff. And then I was curious, and I asked, I was like, what did she do? And then they're like, oh, she killed her husband. I was like, oh, okay. I mean,
At the
everyone
spur of
has
the moment,
everyone
yeah.
has their stories. You see, stories, they all have their stories. And I had the amazing honor and the permission to interview over 100 prisoners. So we're hoping with the ICU campaign to slowly share a few of these.
Maybe you can write a book or something.
We are planning to.
That's
we're
lovely.
planning to, like the chicken soup,
Exactly.
chicken soup
Yeah,
books.
yeah.
That's what we are planning. With stories of transformation.
Stephanie, all these encounters with these wronged women.
Not just women.
Or, okay, everybody there.
Wrong
Yeah.
people.
Doesn't it
Wronged
affect
people.
you? Doesn't it make you depressed? You're a human being after all.
Does it
Does
make me
it
depressed?
affect you?
No,
or-
of
I mean,
course
that
it
this
affects
still
me.
happens,
Of
and
course
it-
it affects me, but it gives me more fire. I've noticed it gives me more fire to be like, there's something I need to do. I can't stay still. I have, and I always tell my team, like, guys, you're too slow. My team is wonderful, and they're equally passionate, and they're amazing individuals. And my head of prison affairs, she has been in the prisons for 10 years, I want to say, and she was the head of Balikada welfare. They're amazing people. And you had asked me, wait, I was telling you a story about this lady.
Yeah.
Right, and so her husband was an alcoholic, and the neighbor tried to sleep with her, and she refused him. Husband busted all the money. They have a kid, and then she didn't have money to feed the child. So the neighbor comes along and says, here's a packet of drugs, why don't you sell it so you can get some food? She was so grateful. Thank you so much for helping my family, and I thank you. As she was doing the deal, he called the cops on her, and she was in prison.
Oh, revenge.
Yes. There are some people who don't have food to eat, and they've stolen 10 coconuts or an aviary of bananas, and they're in prison. It's very, how do you say? You cannot judge people. Everybody does things to the best of their knowledge. At
My
that
question
point.
is, Stephanie,
And
why
the
is
law
the
is there?
why
The law is there for everyone.
why is the poor people more restricted, or why are they penalized so much when there is so much of things happening in the higher society that you cannot even frame them?
The drug deals happen even at
The bigger
upper
goons or
levels.
the bigger whales. But like you said,
That's a
aviary
good question,
of banana.
actually. That's a very good
it's-
question.
It's like,
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
12
very good
coconuts.
question. I guess it's
is
circumstance
it
and
a
privilege.
fault in the system?
For sure. Oh, for sure. For sure. So there are a few suggestions we have made, and we are formally making. Made as in we've spoken about it with the commissioner, we've spoken about it with different people. I am very excited to hopefully meet the Minister of Justice himself. I have not met him yet. But one of the things we suggested was, first of all, so for example, Balikada, our capacity is 10,000. We
But we
have
have
41, ranging between 41 to 43,000. So there's no space. And why do we have no space? Because of a few things. Because we are not having community service, which is being pushed rather than throwing them in prison. That's one. So one of the suggestions we made and will formally make is to follow the US model. In the US, I think if you steal under $900, you have a one-time get out of jail free card. So we were thinking, okay, give every Sri Lankan a chance to steal once under 10,000 rupees. And if you steal, you have to do, let's say, 400 hours of community service and pay a fine.
Yeah, I
if you
think
can't,
community
if you can't pay the fine, you have to do another additional X hours of community service once. Second time, in jail, because it's a pattern. So at least the little one, first time, because what happens is you have a person, a man or a woman, stealing for survival, right? They come into prison. Then, because our prisons are so overcrowded, you don't have segregation based on the intensity of your crime. So you have murderers, you have drug addicts, you
Everyone's
have drug
together.
dealers, and you have petty crimes all together. So now the lady or man stole whatever they stole, the little item, let's say a bag of chips or a bag of
Something
few
small.
coconuts. Okay,
Yeah.
they stole something for survival, right? So they have to pay bail to get bail, right, or to go out. They don't have that money. That's why they stole. So now they're stuck in prison. They're sleeping beside a drug dealer. So they say, Ane, don't worry.
So
Opportunity. Tell your family to call this number. They'll give you a small packet. Sell it. You'll be able to make the money to be free. So then this is what happens. And then now you have this person who stole for survival for the first time being like,
Wow.
professional
money.
thief now.
I can make money by selling drugs. And then you have a drug dealer who's made. So every time you go into prison, your level of crime tends to
Increases.
go up. Also, there's another issue. This is where society has a huge role to play. And this is why we did something called Lalita Siri, which is, so I went island-wide. We did, a whole bunch of us. We went to every prison island-wide and we auditioned prisoners and guards to see their talent. So they were dancing, singing, acting,
I remember
skits.
this. Yes.
Yeah. And then so we had Ashanti come and train them. Nadro came and did a whole drum act, taught the prisoners and the guards. We had an Angampura. There was this one old uncle. He was singing a Master Amaradeva's song, Sir's song. And so technically he was supposed to be in white. He said, please, I don't want to wear white anymore, because he's been there for like at least 20 years, I think. And he's like, I want to dress like an Indian prince. And you know, they don't wear shoes, right? So he wore like this beautiful silver blue outfit. It was really sweet. And so it's to show their humanness, right? And we got special permission to do Lalita Siri at Nelum Pokuna.
No.
And we got special permission, high security. And also you didn't know, when you went and you saw the show, you didn't know who was a prisoner, who was a guard. You just saw human beings with talent. And it's to give them their dignity. And it's also, and to honor them. Of course, it was to raise money also for the prisons. But it's also to show society, this is a human being. And sometimes if you were in the same circumstances with the same variables, who knows? You or me, we could have made the same decision.
Yeah.
We never know. So to say, don't judge them so harshly. They're already paying for their crime. They don't need to pay for their crime after they come out of jail.
True.
After they come out of jail, it's done. They give them a chance. So we're working. So that was one of the things. The second thing is we're looking at once the legislation passes to see if we can pilot ankle bracelets in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
So that the remand prisoners, there are some remand prisoners who've been there for like, I thought it was a day in, day out.
Like they can
but
stay
it's
in the
not.
comfort of their home and
Yeah,
still.
I mean, some remand prisoners are there for like,
But aren't they
20
branded
years,
with the
17
ankle
years.
bracelet?
huh?
But that's what is happening
aren't they
overseas,
branded?
no?
I see that. I know that you're a jailbird. If I see your ankle
So
bracelet.
that's up to society. Yes, if you're
Society
a
is not sympathetic.
But they can stay at home.
yeah, but at least they can live a life. At least
with their
of
family
prison.
members.
For example,
So it's
when
me.
you're in remand, Kumar, you're still not convicted as guilty, right? That means it's still under investigation. Innocent
Case
till
is
proven
going on.
guilty. Your case is going on, right? So if there was this one gentleman who was there in the cell, and he was one of the engineers who made the Kalania Bridge, right? And he said, Miss, I've been here for 6 or 8 years, I can't remember. And he said, I'm still innocent. I've lost my wife. I can't provide for my child's education. And now if you tell me I'm innocent, what is the life I'm going to? So that's why we need ankle bracelets. And the government, it is something that they're pushing to get legislation legislation for now. Sorry, it's been a long day. My brain is not braining as much.
Before we close,
but,
Stephanie, what about children born inside prisons?
Oh, yes,
Pregnant mothers.
of
What
course.
is their plight? What is their position?
So actually, I met this child who was 1 day old, born in a tuk-tuk because they couldn't get an ambulance in time as the mother was giving birth. The best way to say it is, these kids never see the stars because they're locked up by 5 and they're let out in the morning. So they don't know what the stars look like. So it's really sad, actually.
So they have to pay the penalty for what their parents, mother, father, I don't know, but
Only until 5. That's the problem.
and
So
after
if
that they go into
the adoption
foster
system,
care or
yeah.
adoption.
Yeah, if there is no one to look after them.
And that might be another horror story.
You never know.
I said
I mean,
might
but
be.
one thing I really want to leave you with, since I think you're ending the show, is
No, please stop.
that these are, yes, they've done terrible things, and some people have done terrible things, and I'll be honest, I had a moment where I had to interview a rapist, and my personal feelings were struggling with the promise I made to my purpose. It was like a war. Like, I did not want to give him a chance. So I get how difficult it is for society to be empathetic and compassionate. I get it. I am also a human in society. I also lived my story, and I have my own issues.
For sure,
We
yeah.
all do. And I remember calling Dushyant and being like, I don't want to interview him. I don't want to give him a chance. I don't want to. He doesn't deserve it, And every part of me, because of my story, my personal story, I just didn't want him or wanted to even be around him. I didn't want him to have a chance. But then Dushyant actually said, but you made this commitment.
That you'll give everyone a fair chance.
Exactly. And to to give everyone the opportunity to transform. Because when you change someone's heart, they truly transform. And when you change someone's heart, they will change the heart of their families. Because then a kid who's so used to, where's mom? Mom is in prison. Oh, where's dad? Dad's in prison. They'll be back in 6 months or 1 year. This kid thinks going in and out of prison is normal. So the minute you change the heart of that prisoner, that child, that family changes. The minute the family changes, the neighbors change. When the neighbors change, the community change. When the community change, before you know it, the whole country has changed. And the benchmark of because when you say the prisoners, or even they're considered the lowest in the chain, like the worst of the worst, like that's the stigma, right? But now the worst of the worst have gone up one level. So your whole country, like your benchmark has
Stepping up.
Yeah, you're stepping up together, and that's how you change a country, either top down or bottom up. And I my heart is for the bottom up. So
Yeah, because top down is tough for us.
top down is the politician's
Yes,
responsibility. It is their
It's going to be tough.
their jurisdiction. It is what it is what they're in office for, and they're doing their work. And but it is our duty as civil society to do our part as well. And so that's what. So we're hoping to do another Lalita Siri this year. So
you
Anyway,
have a free host.
Anyway, I can help, please.
You have a free
Thank you.
host.
I'm on board. Totally foreseen.
that's amazing.
Whatever way I can help.
thank
Yes,
you.
I'm coming.
Thank you. Come with me to prison.
My single is not perfect, but I can
Come
speak
with me.
you
English.
think mine is? Oh, mage single
Like,
දැන්
come
මට
on.
වඩා
Holiday.
හොඳයි ඔයා. මට වඩා හොඳයි ඔයා.
Thank you, Stephanie. It's been such it's just a complete different side of you. We thought this would be a fun
No.
interview, but then again you
Profound.
turned it
Yes.
360 degrees.
I
And
hope
I'm
it was still a
really-
little fun.
No. It was not boring. It was very insightful, I think.
Educative.
Yeah.
It was
So
socially
thank you
educative.
for taking this position up and doing
It's an honor. I was
doing
so-
whatever you are doing. I hope you'll have the strength and courage and the empathy and be like an egg.
thank
hard
you.
and boiled and help them.
We did
You're
not
so
speak
sweet.
of all the other facets to your personality, which we'll save for another chat somewhere down the line. But this was purely focusing on on this
Appointment.
particular
Yeah.
role. So,
Thank you.
strength to your journey. Bless you, and may you do well in this
Thank you.
chosen field of yours.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
On that note, we'll have to close this week, and hopefully next week, not hopefully, for sure next week, we'll have a fabulous guest.
Bye.